Dear students, today I'll discuss about the Employee Provident Fund Act. So this is the introduction about the Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act. So this comes under Social Security legislation. So this is with regard to providing provident fund and family pension and insurance to employees. So here employee has to pay the contribution towards the fund during the tenure of his service. So and the employer also pays some equal contribution that will be added in the provident fund of the employee, right? And the employee gets a lump sum amount when he retires, which will be useful to him after retirement. So that is the purpose of this Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act. So here under this act, three schemes are covered. So the first one is Provident Fund Scheme, and the next one is Family Pension Fund Scheme, which is FPF, and the next one is EDLI, Employees Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme. So these are the three schemes that this act covers. So here there is an amendment for this Employees Provident Fund. So definition of workmen, it is actually replaced by definition of employee. So here the workmen is replaced by employee. Also now includes clerical employees. So before that, the clerical cadres of the people are not included under this act. So here after the amendment, the clerical employees are also included in this act. So this first thing is EPF, which is Employees Provident Fund. It is a savings tool for the workforce. So, and it is a scheme managed under the Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952 by the Employees Provident Fund Organization. So this is the organization meant for utilizing the funds properly, and it has to give the funds after the retirement of the particular employee. So this is the organization which is meant for taking care of the funds under Provident Fund. So this is, it has 22 sections and 4 schedules. So the first schedule, it includes matters of industry engaged in manufacturing. So if the industry is engaged in manufacturing, this will uh, be coming under Schedule 1. And Schedule 2, it covers matters for which provision provided for a scheme. And the Schedule 3 is matters for which provisions provided for pension scheme. And Schedule 4 includes matters for which provisions provided for deposit linked insurance scheme. So these are the 4 important schedules under this EPF Act, Employees Provident Fund Act and Miscellaneous Provisions Act. So, and it has 22 sections. So here, these are some of the definitions that we should be clear with regard to this act. So the first one is Employees Pension Fund. So here pension fund, it means the employees pension fund established under subsection 2 of section 6A. So under this section, we are having a pension fund, which means employees pension fund. And employee pension scheme. So this pension scheme means the employees pension scheme framed under subsection of 1 of subsection 6A. And the next important term is superannuation. So superannuation in relation to an employee who is the member of the pension scheme means the attainment by the said employee of the 58 years. So if the employee attains the age of 58 years, he is eligible to receive superannuation. So if he is the member of the pension scheme, so he will become eligible to receive superannuation. So these are the three important terms that we should be clear with regard to this employees pension fund. And the next one is we will be seeing about the applicability. So here this act, it extends to whole of India except Jammu and Kashmir. So except Jammu and Kashmir, it is applicable throughout India. And the next one is every establishment which is a factory engaged in any industry specified in Schedule 1 and in which 20 or more persons are employed. So here, if a factory is engaged in any industry, it might be a paper industry or it might be a leather industry or any industry which has employees, like 20 is the minimum or more number of persons are employed, then we can follow this act. So it is applicable. This act is applicable for that establishment. So here any other establishment employing 20 or more persons which central government may by notification specify in this behalf. Right? So here the central government can also issue by notification like any other establishment. So employing 20 or more persons. So in that case, the central government maybe by notification it has some like what, so this central government is having some power to include any other establishment employing more than 20 or more persons, and it applies to cinema halls having 5 or more workers. So here cinema halls is also included here under this act. So and another one, once it applies, it continues to apply even the employees number falls below 20. Right? So after it is applied, right after the company or the cinema hall or any other establishment, it is applied to this act. So it continues to apply even the employees number fall below 20. Right? So that is with regard to the applicability, and does not apply to a cooperative society employing less than 50 persons and working without aid of power. Right? So here the industrial establishment or any cooperative society which has less than 550 persons, it is not eligible to apply. Right? And the next one is a newly set up establishment for an initial period of 5 years. So if an establishment is started and it has only 5 years of existence, then it is not eligible to apply. And any central or state government establishment having its own PF. So here, if any central government or state government is having its own PF scheme, then it is not covered under this act. So these are some of the applicability with regard to this act. And the next one we'll be seeing about is the eligibility norms. So who is eligible to get PF, right? And what is the rate of contribution under this PF scheme? So first one is any person who is employed for work of an establishment or employed through contractor. So both are eligible here to receive the PF, right? A person who is working for an establishment or he is employed through contractor or in connection with the work of an establishment and drawing salary up to rupees 15,000 per month as wages, okay, including basic plus DA plus retaining allowance. So if he is getting the salary of up to 15,000, then he is eligible to apply, or he is covered under this act. And however, an employee who is drawing a salary of more than 15,000 can become a member of PF with the permission of Assistant PF Commissioner. Right? So here salary up to 15,000 per month wages, which includes all these things, are eligible to get the PF. But if it exceeds, then with the help of Assistant PF Commissioner, then he is also included. So if even if a person is having a salary of more than 15,000, and these are some of the rates of contribution under PF. So here every month salary, so 12% of the basic salary will be considered as the employee's share, right? So this is employees share, and the employer's share is to another 12 percentage. So here these are the two rates of contribution under PF. And the next one is, presently the following are the three schemes, as I already mentioned. Employees Provident Fund Scheme 1952. So this is purely meant for promoting the retirement savings. So after his retirement, he is eligible to get his small savings which are made during his employment. And the next one is employees pension scheme. So this scheme is meant to promote post retirement pension, right after retirement. So he can get some amount, fixed amount as the pension for every month. So this is employees pension scheme in 1995. And another scheme which comes under this act is employees deposit linked insurance scheme 1976. So this is meant to promote relief to family members in case of sudden death. So they are also covered with some insurance scheme. So these are the three schemes, and the employees covered under this act. So these are the employees: a person who is employed for wages in any kind of work, manual or otherwise, who gets salary directly or indirectly from the employer. So the person who is working for any kind of factory or industrial establishment, who are working through manual, or if they are employed in computer organizations, IT organizations. So, and who are getting salary directly or indirectly. So, all these persons are eligible under this act, right? So, and they are covered under this act. Then the next one is employed by or through a contractor or in connection with the work of the establishment. They are also covered under this act. And engaged as an apprentice, so trainee, not being an apprentice engaged under the Apprentice Act. So this act is entirely different. So here engaged as an apprentice, but not being an apprentice engaged under the Apprentice Act or under the standing orders of the establishment, right? So here engaged as an apprentice, but he should not be covered under the Apprentice Act 1961. So only then he is covered under this act, right? So these are the basic information regarding the coverage under this act. And the next one is administration of Provident Fund. So here, who is going to administer, or who is having the power to administer the fund under this like of Provident Fund? So as I already told you about this EPFO, Employees Provident Fund Organization. So it is the eligible institution. So here, Employee Fund Organization, Provident Fund Organization. So that is the body which is set up to administer the Provident Fund. So it is the governing body. It receives PF from employer on behalf of employees. So this is 12%. And EPFO has Central Board of Trustees and Executive Committee. So it has two different layers. One is Central Board of Trustees to administer the fund, and as well as the Executive Committee. So here the Central Board, this comprises of 43 people. It has one chairman, vice chairman, and 5 representatives of central government, 15 representatives of state government, 10 representatives of employers, 10 representatives of employees, and a Central Provident Fund Commissioner. So these are the persons who comprise of this central board. And the next one is executive committee. It has 13 people, and it also has one chairman and one central PF commission, 2 representatives of central government and 3 representatives of state government, and each 3 representatives of employers and as well as employees. So these two are the main thing, right? Central board and executive committee under EPFO, for EPFO, right? And the next one is the present rate of like this pension fund is 12% only. So here for some organizations it is 10% only. Example, Jude, BD and brick industries, they are just paying 10%, but remaining all other industries, the present rate of Provident Fund is 12%. Right, and this rates of contribution under EPF. So as I already mentioned, the employee share is 12% and the employer's share is 12%. So distributed as 8.33% will go to the pension fund, right, and 3.67 to the Provident Fund. So the total money goes to PF is 15.67%. Right, so this is the employer's contribution, and PF can be withdrawn at any time. So here, however, the pension comes only if he continues his service with the same employer for 10 years. So he is eligible to get pension, and this PF amount comes within 45 days from the date of application. So if you want to use this Provident Fund amount, then like you have to apply for the use of this Provident Fund. So immediately after the date of application, within 45 days, the amount will get credited. So if not, additional 12% interest also apply on the PF amount for the delay. So these are the usage, how the Provident Fund can be utilized by the employees. And the next one is Employee Pension Fund. So this is the second fund which comes under this act. So here all the employees covered under the Provident Fund becomes members of pension fund. So here, as I already told you, 8.33% of basic salary up to 15,000 rupees. So it is contributed to pension fund from employer's share of contribution, right? So 8.33% of basic salary. So for every month, this amount of percentage, this percentage amount will be credited into the with as a pension. And a minimum period of 10 years of contributory service with same employer is required to be eligible to receive this monthly pension. And when the employee becomes 58 years of age, this contribution stops. And in case of death also, the pension is given to the legal heir. So this is with regard to employee pension fund. And the another important scheme associated with this act is Employee Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme, which is EDLI. So here all the members contributing to Provident Fund are automatically insured for their life insurance. So this is a life insurance during the service. So you will be covered with this life insurance. So if you are contributing to Provident Fund. And the employer's contribution to the insurance scheme is 0.5%. So this is the contribution from the employer's end. And the maximum premium amount payable to the nominee in case of death of employee is 1,20,000. It is actually paid as cash benefit. So here in the case of death of employee, so this is the maximum premium amount payable to the nominee. So this is with regard to the Employee Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme. And the next one is determination of money due. So here, whenever there is dispute regarding the pension fund, final decision will be taken by EPFO. So this is the organization. So this is governing body. So and hence this will take decision if there is any dispute regarding this PF. So if a person is dissatisfied with the EPFO, then he can approach to EPF Appellate Tribunal. So which is like the next layer to the EPFO. So it consists of single judge called deciding officer. This maximum age of 62 years. So this if a person is not satisfied with this PF, then he can approach this EPF Appellate Tribunal. And he is appointed by central government on the recommendation of Chief Justice of India. And the deciding officer has all the powers of civil court. So this is the way in which we can approach for the PF amount. And the next thing is there are different types of Provident Fund that are available. So the first type is about Statutory Provident Fund, which is shortly called as SPF. Another one is we have Public Provident Fund. The next one is recognized provident fund, and the last one is unrecognized provident fund. So here the statutory provident fund, it is a provident fund registered under the Provident Fund Act 1925, and they are also known as government provident fund, right? So the employees who are meant for government, semi-government employees, university or educational institutions affiliated to a university, established under the statute or other specified institution would be qualified to give to them. So mostly this statutory provident fund will be given to the employees working for government or even semi-government employees and university and educational institutions. So this is called as SPF. And the next one is Public Provident Fund, which is PPF. So this is also covered under this Public Provident Fund Act 1968. So this is covered under Public Provident Fund Act 1968. And this is covered under Provident Fund Act 1925. So here any member of the public, whether employed or not, okay, can invest in PPF. So here any public, so any member of the public can invest in PPF. So here the minimum contribution in this fund is rupees 500 rupees and maximum amount is 1,50,000 rupees per year. So it is based on the deductions in your income tax. You may decide upon how much you have to pay, right? So this is minimum contribution is 500 and maximum it may go to 1,50,000 rupees per year. And the contributions made to this scheme along with the interest, so they are repayable under 15 years. So, and after 15 years, we can make use of this fund and along with the interest, we can make use of this fund. So, unless extended. And the rate of interest at present under the scheme is 8%, but now it is even like reduced to like even below 8% is the rate of interest that they are giving under this public provident fund. So this is the second type of provident fund. And the third type is recognized provident fund, which is shortly called as RPF. So this is registered under Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952. So here, according to this act, any person who employs 20 or more employees is under an obligation to register himself under this act. So here, this is the basic eligibility norms. So here, if any company who's having employees 20 or more than 20 is becoming eligible to receive this recognized provident fund or register under this act. So any person can register himself by their choice, whether they have whether they had less than 20 employees, right? So this is the thing which is considered to be recognized provident fund. And the next one is unrecognized provident fund. This is a scheme started by the employer and the employees in an establishment, whether approved by the Commissioner of Income Tax, right? So this is a scheme which is approved by the Commissioner of Income Tax, which is called as unrecognized provident fund. So these are the 4 different types of provident fund that is covered under this act. So all these are the information related to this the Employees Provident Fund Act. Thank you.